I really want to inspire other girls that if this is something that you want to do, then you absolutely have to go and chase it. And I think that's one of the biggest missions I have as a computer scientist. Hi, I'm Mariam. I'm a second-year computer science student here at Univ.
Hi, I'm Catherine. I'm a third-year DPhil Earth Sciences student at Univ. Welcome to our sofa chat on International Women in Science Day.
So, Catherine, what drew you to your subject?
So it was specifically the project that was advertised for my DPhil. I had always wanted to work in carbon cycling, peatland carbon cycling, so I saw that this project was advertised in the Department of Earth Sciences, and yeah, that's kind of why I've ended up here. What about you?
Yeah, so I've always loved like problem solving and maths and all of that kind of stuff. And computer science was just something that I thought was really impactful way to use those kind of skills. And I really loved programming and changing the world through coding and all of that kind of line of work. And that's what drew me to apply and study computer science.
Brilliant. Who has inspired you most in your journey in science so far, and why?
Yeah, so the biggest inspiration to me so far has been my parents. They're both medics, so they're both scientists as well, like me.
Wow.
And they've always really pushed me to just follow my dreams. And they've always really stated to me the importance of knowledge and education and just having a really good scientific background. And I think it's from them that I get that really big motivation to learn, because they just did sacrifice so much to be able to get me into this position. So it's something that really pushed me, to do about the most and get into Oxford and come here and study.
That's amazing. Yeah. Nice.
What about you, Catherine?
I actually have a very similar story. It's to do with family. So my grandmother was a school teacher, and she was my biggest advocate in school. She was always pushing me to learn more and to go further. And so, yeah, I kind of grew up with that as an inspiration. And then my parents as well have just been incredibly supportive.
Yeah, I think family is really, really helpful thing when it comes to pushing women in science and kind of inspiring people.
Yeah, 100%. I really feel like having that background, like my dad was a scientist as well. He was always pushing me in school, and it's really nice because I still go home to visit them and I still have conversations about science with them. And
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's really important to have that background.
It is so important. What's been the greatest challenge that you faced so far in your subject?
So I had a few years out before I started my DPhil. So I did environmental science at undergrad and masters, and then had a few years out, worked as a manager in a completely different field. And so I came back into academia after a bit of a break and went into earth sciences, which was obviously a bit of a different field. There's more of a focus on geology. So I came into a department that was a little bit unfamiliar, a bit new, and I'd had a few years out. So it was, quite a steep learning curve to get back into it, but I have been so well supported, and sort of slowly getting over that imposter syndrome of like, oh my gosh, I'm so rusty, and I don't know this department, because Earth Sciences here is so friendly and so supportive, and but it's been a big learning curve, and I'd say that's probably been
Yeah, I think that's something that I can really relate to in terms of the learning curve. Like, one of the biggest challenges I faced was first coming here and kind of adjusting to the completely different life that you get as an undergrad at Oxford or at any university compared to A-levels and GCSEs, which is so structured, and you kind of have someone holding your hand through every single step of the way.
Yeah, and then you get to uni and it's just completely
it's like you have to like be really independent, and you have to kind of like seek your own truth. But there's just been so much support from my tutors and from my parents as well, my friends, and the JCR, for example, has so much support for that. So it's just been kind of adjusting to the style of things here. We've got problem sheets as well, which were so new to me when I first started here at Oxford. It's so different to doing like an A-level pass paper.
Yeah, it's a big jump from school.
You have to actually use your brain a lot, which is completely different to in school. Sometimes you can kind of get away with memorizing things.
Yes, yeah, definitely. But that's why it's so good here, right?
Yeah,
because it encourages you to think on your own and be a bit more creative.
It really kind of like rewires the way you think in your brain.
Yeah,
going
100%.
to university and just kind of learning things and discovering things on your own. But it's definitely a challenge to get used to at first.
Mm-hmm. What impact do you hope to have through your work?
Oh, that's a really, really good question. So impact is something that's been so important to me, because really have had that instated in me ever since I was young, that you also, while you're doing your work for your own benefit and for your own good, you also have to think about benefiting others and the good of humanity. So I really want to use my coding abilities and my computer science abilities to kind of push the world in the right direction and actually make a change in people's lives. And one of the other really important things to me would be to inspire other young girls to join computer science. It's unfortunately one of the most male-dominated fields in the world in so many different universities. And this is an experience that so many women in computer science go through, where they feel like, oh, I'm the only girl in my class, or oh, there's only 3 other girls in my lecture.
Yeah.
So I really want to inspire other girls that if this is something that you want to do, then you absolutely have to go and chase it. And I think that's one of the biggest missions I have as a computer scientist.
Have you felt like that at uni so far, that you're, you know, in this male-dominated field, and has that affected you in your studies?
I mean, in some of my lectures, I am one of the only girls, and you can see it being quite outnumbered. But I think it is something that's really pushed me, because being one of the only girls, I want to be a really good role model, inspiration, so that if any other girl ever sees me or like comes across my story, they can kind of like learn about it. And I think it's definitely a little bit better than it was at A-level. I was pretty much the only girl in my class at A-level.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so many. So it's definitely something that can really push you in the right direction.
Yeah.
So what about you? What's like a really big impact for you?
I firstly hope to advocate for peatlands and for peatland conservation. I think they're just these amazing landscapes, and they're really important for our carbon cycling and our nature. And there's this perception in the UK, at least, that peatlands are these kind of really barren, desolate landscapes where there isn't really much going on. And actually, if you look really closely, they are these amazingly rich ecosystems, and they're so important for mitigating climate change and offsetting our fossil fuel emissions. And so I hope to advocate for that and for their conservation. And I also, kind of like you, hope to, you know, be a bit of a role model for young women getting into STEM. I'm very fortunate that in my career I've had some really powerful female role models in academia and in other jobs as well. I've had some really strong female leaders that I've worked with, and if I can be anything like them in my career, then that would be amazing. I think, you know, as a young woman entering STEM, it can be really intimidating.
For sure.
And I think this generation, particularly of early career researchers that are coming up into sort of professor positions, at least in earth sciences, I think have so much potential to become those more senior role models in academia. I think we're really starting to get there and sort of even out the playing field. But I think there's still a lot more work we can do and a lot more we can focus on in terms of removing barriers that women face, you know, especially moving up the career ladder in STEM. So I think the more we can get women into those kind of roles, the better.
What's like one of the biggest barriers you think you've faced getting into STEM as a woman in STEM?
Oh, good question. I'm very fortunate actually that like I said, have been very well supported throughout my journey so far. I think one of the big issues that I've faced in the past, and you know, this also translates into my job in management that I did, is sort of being taken seriously as a young woman in STEM, or a young woman in any sort of leadership position or any sort of position where you're advising people or sort of trying to get your voice heard. I think that, you know, it is quite a common issue. You know, I've been, I've had a few people who have gone, really, you got that internship, because I was a younger person and because I was a woman. And I think that, that can kind of foster a little bit of imposter syndrome and kind of make you doubt yourself a little bit. And you think, you know, do I actually belong in this space? And do I really, you know, am I worthy of this? Yes, I think that and the imposter syndrome has been probably one of the biggest factors. But I think, maybe if we had more female role models, 100%. You know, in STEM, then maybe wouldn't have felt like that so much. I think it's getting better, but there have definitely been some times where I have just not felt like I've been heard.
100%. Yeah, I can totally relate to like everything you're saying here. It's just such a universal experience that so many women in STEM go through.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you say that's kind of one of the biggest barriers that you face?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest, like so many times at A-level or at other, you know, points in my career, I would just feel like I wasn't being taken seriously with my classmates, for example. And it's kind of something that makes you feel very belittled, and it really does not help with so many girls' confidences. And it's something that a lot of us have to overcome to kind of be able to enter STEM and, you know, follow the careers that we often really, really like haven't real passion for and we really want to do.
Yeah, more confidence all the way.
100%.
Okay, next question. What is the coolest or most unexpected thing that science has led you to?
Oh, there's so many really, really cool and interesting things in computer science, I think. It's a career that really has an opportunity to make an impact in the world. So I recently did an internship where I covered LLMs and AI and how that actually really came about. And at its essence, LLMs are just a very, very large matrix multiplication. But they have so much power and they're able to absorb so much information. And this is true for a lot of machine learning models that are at their essence just a bunch of mathematics. But they have so much power to take information in and make predictions that humans would never, ever see. And I think that's something that I think is so cool, that it has really advanced the way and changed the way, revolutionized the way we see the world. And it has such a great, if used correctly, of course, it has such a great place to make an impact in the world. And that's personally one of the coolest things for me.
It's very cool.
What about you?
I wish I was clever enough to understand that, but I think
you are for sure.
I think for me, I am starting to develop an appreciation of what rivers can teach us. So I work in river geochemistry, and I look at greenhouse gas emissions from rivers. And if you can start to detangle all of these really complicated geochemical signals that are going on in rivers, you can start to understand a much wider nets of terrestrial kind of biogeochemical processes that are going on. And so in essence, rivers capture this much broader landscape view of what's going on. And if you can start to pick apart these signals in the river chemistry, you can start to understand how we're influencing the river chemistry in terms of how we use the land and in terms of how climate change is upsetting biogeochemical processes. And it's just such an amazing concept. And I think I'm still very much beginning to understand it, but yeah, it blows my mind a little bit sometimes when you can take the molecular composition of something in the river and it can tell you about this, you know, this really wide kind of process that's going on. I think it's just insane. Yeah, I think it's so insane how so much things in science like really boil down to a lot of kind of things that you wouldn't expect to be like, they look very complicated and they boil down to really simple things, but they just have so much power. And I think that's one of the things that's just been so shocking and like really amazing to me as a scientist. Definitely. And all of that is the culmination of, you know, decades or centuries of prior scientific research that's kind of led up to us being able to sit here and go, oh, this is actually really simple. But, you know, without even a decade ago, the understanding that we've developed, I don't think we'd be in that position. And yeah, for sure. It's such a rapidly changing field, and every day we've got new things, and something that seems so like obvious to us, like even like 20 years ago. It's not obvious at all. No, absolutely. I mean, we only really discovered, so the paper that came out announcing like global river carbon dioxide emissions only came out in 2013. Oh, wow. And then the methane emissions only came out in 2023. So it's still this massively new concept. And yeah, it's very exciting to be a part of it. Yeah. Okay, last question. What would you tell another woman who's thinking about studying science? Yeah, I would definitely say, and this is kind of me speaking to my younger self as well here, just go for it. Like, don't let anyone get you down. Don't let anyone let you doubt yourself. You're 100% capable of being a really good and a really, really inspiring scientist. And just because some people may belittle you or put you down, that absolutely does not mean you should give up on your dreams. You should always, always follow what you really want to do in life and follow your passions and just go for it, you know? That's my biggest point. That's just amazing. Go for it. Yeah, no, I think I would absolutely say the same. Yeah, keep up with the boys, be confident. 100%. Keep that adventurous spirit that you had when you were a kid. Yeah. And yeah, don't let anyone kind of put you off that. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. It's really important to push for women to stay in science. If that's something you want to do, just go for it. Girl. Yes. 100%. Yeah. So thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us on our sofa chat, and we hope to inspire many other women in science this International Women in Science Day. Thank you.